Recording in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Our opening ceremony is about to begin. Please have a nice seat and back to your position for both offline and online participants.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Airlangga University. We are here proudly present the Airlangga International Conference, which brings an extraordinary theme about the development of smart city during digital transformation, held by Airlangga University 2022.
It's been a great honor for me and my partner here to be standing here as your master of ceremony this morning. Therefore, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Gulam Pasha Pambayung.
And I am Dewi Rahmawati. Ladies and gentlemen, this seminar provides a great opportunity for prospective participants to enhance their awareness regarding the implementation of smart city during the digital transformation era, to discuss, share knowledge and insights.
However, before we proceed to the program today, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Professor Muhammad Nasi, SAMT-AK,
Excellency Professor Dr. M. Hadi Subhan, SHMHJN, as the Director of Student Affairs,
the President of Airlangga University Student Executive Board, Mr. Yoga Haryo Prayogo.
Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen. As a beginning to our agenda today, let us sing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya, continued by Hymne Airlangga. Hence, we are inviting the dearest audiences to please stand up in honor of our national anthem.
Please have a seat. Honorable Speaker, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, as our welcome greetings, we would like to present to you a traditional dance choreographed symbolizing our dedication to welcome the arrival of guests and all the participants to show hospitality and respect. It is performed in a special dance called Tari Sama. Please welcome Saman Dance performed by Gergah Sekawan Kru Surabaya.
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we would like to invite you to deliver his welcoming speech as the chairman of Airlangga International Conference. Please give a warm applause for Mr. Ilham Nur Akbar.
Good morning to our respected supervisor. Good morning to our respected supervisor, also the honorable invited speaker, Mr. Dr. Celestine UNE, as the senior lecturer University of Bolton, United Kingdom, as Professor Waidah Ismail from Associate Professor, University Science Islam Malaysia, and to our beloved organization, from all of the staff and all the participants from International Student Association and from Airlangga University. First of all, let us express our gratitude towards the Almighty, whose blessings are always with us, so that we all can be here in the good condition and health. It's such an honor for me to give a speech in our annual Airlangga National Conference. For this year, we will take the innovating sustainable industrial to digital transformations. The reason why I choose these themes because we live in the industrial world where all of the people need to know more about the case study that related to sustainable development goals. Especially, we will learn more about the sustainable development goals 11. And also for this year, we will take a lot of the case that not just about the sustainable, but also about the climate change and technology informations. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you to all the participants to attend in this conference. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Lovely speech, Mr. Ilham. Next speech will be delivered by Mr. Guntur Adi Prayoga as the Coordinating Minister of Internationalization and Digitalization of Airlangga University Student Executive Board. Mr. Guntur, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. God, because of His mercies and blessings, so that we can join here in this nice opportunity without any trouble and obstacle. Gratitude to Your Honorable Mr. Selamat Haryadi SPSI from Komisi 1 DPR RI, the Honorable Invited Speaker, Dr. Celestine UND PhD, Senior Lecturer, University of Bolton, UK, Professor Waidah bin Ismail PhD, Associate Professor, Universitas Sains Islam Malaysia, Tengku Nilam Basila Tengku Ibrahim PhD, Senior Lecturer Migran Mala Malaysia. And then the Honorable Professor Dr. Muhammad Nasim, Lecturer Airlangga University. And the last one, the Honorable all of the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, the participants of Airlangga International Conference today is a great honor for me as the Coordinating Minister of Internationalization and Digitalization, Executive Board Airlangga University, to welcome all attendees at the Airlangga International Conference. Airlangga International Conference is annual agenda held by Universitas Airlangga as a scientific space for students from various countries to discuss global issues and problems. We also interpret AIC as an effort to implement the three realms of higher education. Last year, we had because of our physical mobilization limitation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Alhamdulillah, this year the COVID-19 situation in Indonesia has improved, and we decided to implement a hybrid method as our win-win solution for today's situation. When discussing today's situation, of course, this hybrid and online system is interesting for us to discuss together. It's reducing the feeling of grief for our families whose loved ones have been abandoned to the COVID-19. COVID-19 benefit our social relations and habits. The existence of COVID-19 forced us to limit cycle mobility so that technology becomes the most reliable link to continue social mobility. All of you used to meeting and doing activity face to face must adapt quickly to new habits, to take advantage of technology to stay social and do a job. Finally, we can see how technology has increased rapidly during a pandemic, and everyone must be able to use technology to survive in their social life. This new habit is the momentum for social transformation. At this year AIC, we close innovating sustainability through digital transformation. A life that is running as the class, continue investing to be able to continue to survive amidst the progress of the times. The use of technology, especially digital technology, continue beyond activity in telecommunication activities alone. Instead, today digital technology is used in many aspects, including the economy, transportation, health, and other aspects. This situation must be able to capture by students as the next generation later. Therefore, this year, AIC is expected to be able to support as answer to the challenge of the times. We hope that the event we are holding can provide many benefits for us. Our Airlangga University Academics, Indonesia, and the world. I don't want to waste our time anymore, so I welcome to all of you to Airlangga International Conference. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the amazing speech, Mr. Kundur. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to present to you another traditional dance as a welcome remark. This traditional character came from East Java and is known as Tari Remo. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Remo dance performance by Department of Culture, Youth, Sports and Tourism of Surabaya City.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are expressing our most sincere apologies because two of our keynote speakers are unable to attend this morning's event due to reasons. Those keynote speakers are Ms. Retno Marsudi, the Minister of International Affairs of Indonesia, Foreign Affairs, and Mr. Muhajir Effendi. So, sorry for those people inability to come to this event.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now we are heading to our main agenda, the plenary session, which will be led by our moderator, Mr. Agastya Wardana, as Hoop In M. Hoop In, one of the Lecturer of International Relations Studies of Airlangga University. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please give applause to Mr. Agastya.
You can hear me correctly? Okay. Then, good morning. Welcome to AIC seminar, Airlangga International Conference Seminar. As the Master of Ceremony have already introduced, I am a lecturer in the Department of International Relations, Universitas Airlangga. I am requested by the student bodies of Airlangga University to lead the discussion today to open this conference. In today's session, we'll have two distinguished speakers that will talk about with us the topics of smart cities. Each speaker will have different perspectives on how they view smart cities. The event will run within the two sessions. The first session will be, sorry, there's some disturbance in the noises. Okay. The session will be divided into three. the first two speakers will speak around 20 to 30 minutes, and then we follow up with a question and answer session after the two speakers speaks. So if you have any questions, because we have hybrid participants here, those who want to ask question offline, you can just raise your hand and maybe the MC can spot you and then you can ask your question. But those of you who join from Zoom, you could just raise your hand in the question and answer session, and then you can ask the question later on in the Q&A session. Or you could also write your question down in the chat function so that I could read it when the time comes for you to ask your questions. Okay, so can we begin now? The Master of Ceremonies is the speaker here. Sorry, I did not get the participants list. Is the speaker here, or are they not coming yet? Hello? The committee? I didn't see Professor Celestine and Professor Waida Ismail. Should I just talk about smart city here? Should I wait for them? What should I do? Well, I can always talk about smart city, but that's not my duty here. The committee, maybe you could instruct me. Okay, since the committee is non-existent, then I guess we'll just have to wait here until the speaker comes. So I presume that we will talk about smart cities today. It is an important topic to talk today because many countries today, there's a different transformation happening in today's world. Because usually when we talk about, especially in my field, in our field, international relations, when we talk about international relations, when we talk about interaction between countries, we talk about states, how states interact with each other, how states interact with international organization. But in today's international relations, when we talk about interaction, we do not talk in the language of the states, in the language of nations. We talk in the language of cities. That's why smart city is important. Because in today's world, city had an influential position in the international relations. That's why it's important for us to study about how the discourse moves, how we understand cities, not only regular cities, but also smart cities, a concept that is now well regarded. How we understand how the cities transform in terms of technology, how the city transform in terms of good governance, how they become more efficient. That's the focus of the studies in the field of smart cities and international relations nowadays. Because now people can just easily interact, not only within the framework of international relations, state relations, but also in terms of city relations. That is why the topics today is very important for us to understand where do we stand. How is the transformation happening? How do smart cities actually had a special place? If you want to study smart city, if you want to understand smart city, what should we study? That's the thing that we need to talk about today, especially here in those. I presume most of you came from Surabaya, or at least you will be part of Surabaya. We know that Surabaya have undergone a very significant transformation under the previous mayor. And now we're also continuing the trend, how we transform not only from an ordinary cities, but we are now becoming a global cities, a smart cities. Or you can say, yeah, we're still far away from smart city, but at least the foundation is there for us to talk about Surabaya in the sense of we are becoming a better cities. I'm not an expert in technology. The two speakers today, they are an expert in technology, but I can speak in terms of decision making, social dynamics, and political dynamics. We could also talk about that and why Surabaya is in a better place compared to other cities. Jakarta, of course, is better than Surabaya in terms of smart cities. They have transformed a lot under Anies Baswedan leadership. But Surabaya is not far behind, I argue. And that's the trend today with cities in Indonesia. We are transforming and we are changing for the better. And that's a good thing for us that lives in the city, because we can understand, we can live happily in the cities efficiently also. Surabaya still have a major problem in terms of smart city, because smart cities usually connected with how the people can live not only happily, but also efficiently and sufficiently as well. That's why in terms of smart cities, we also talk in the language of sustainable development goals, how the people not only get their welfare from the city, and get a happy living, but also live within a sustainable framework. I think that's also the focus of Universitas Airlangga today, that we support sustainable development goals. Because we are located in Surabaya, of course, we have to contribute to the society of Surabaya. How we deal with our waste, how we focus our job studies effort to advance the causes of sustainable development goals is also a contribution for the cities. Okay, our first speaker is here. I welcome Dr. Waida Ismail. Good morning, Dr. Waida Ismail. I see that you're already here.
Morning.
Good morning. It's nice to meet you, Dr. Waida Ismail.
You too. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we will begin the sessions momentarily. Dr. Waida Ismail, is that okay with you? Your preparation all set?
Yeah, I will
Okay.
share. Okay. Wait.
Yeah, you could try share your screen and then I'll introduce you and then you can begin your presentation.
Okay. Okay, I will share the screen.
Yeah, you could try and then we'll see if there is some technical problem.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes, yes, we can see
Okay.
your slide. Okay, then, Dr. Waida Ismail, I'll introduce you first. So we have here our first speaker, ladies and gentlemen, participants. We have here Dr. Waida Ismail. She is an associate professor in the Faculty of Science and Technology at University Science Islam Malaysia. She obtained her PhD in Information Systems and Computer from Brunei University. Her first education in diploma in Computer Science and a Master of Information Technology. She got it from University Technology Mara, Malaysia, and her PhD in Computer Science at the University of Liverpool. Her research interest is artificial intelligence, classification, heuristic search, image processing, data analytics, machine learning, optimization, and Internet of Things. She will talk today about, you can see her presentation, Smart City on Health Applications. Dr. Waida, you have around 30 minutes to speak, and then I'll notify you when your time ends, and we'll have question and answer afterward. Without further ado, I give the time to you, Dr. Waida Ismail.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this, can you share? Can you see?
Yeah, we can see clearly.
Okay, today I will discuss on the smart city on the health applications. So as you mentioned by the Ence Agarsta, so this is my background. And I've been working with industry for 11 years before I joined as a lecturer. So I joined lecturing in 2005 until now. So this is all my interest. And I'm working in UC, which is the 50 minutes from the airport, is 1 and 30 hours from the Kuala Lumpur. This is all the 9 faculty that we have. So before that, we need to understand what is the smart city. Smart city is defined by the British Standard Institute as an effective integration of physical, digital, human system in. Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear. We are very sorry for the disturbance.
Digital and human system in the built environments to deliver a sustainable, prospect, and inclusive future of the citizen. So some of the journal mention the smart city as intelligent or digital. So cities also can conclude as the communities. So usually the smart city at the urban areas. So this is usually use electronic data, how to collect the data using the sensor. So the infrastructure, the layout of the cities, the buildings, vehicles, institution, or devices using the IoT. Even we have a smart watch also, you can download the data from the cloud. Smartwatch is one of IoT because you can download the data and your PC to supply a real-time information that meant on the citizens. Oh. Okay, this is all the domains that you can implement your smart city: medical, energy, transportation, water supply, sewage, waste, law enforcement, information and communications. So in this is a smart city components that we have. The IoT, there is a smart infrastructure, smart building, smart transportation, smart energy, smart healthcare, smart technology, smart governance, and smart citizens. This is all the smart things that you can need by the smart city components. Most of the, I think Japan already implemented some of the smart, especially on the transportations. So when I study in UK also, there is a smart transportation. If there is a delaying 1 minute, 2 minutes, they will highlight that. That means they have a device to connect that mention that if the train is delaying. So when the smart city, when in the smart city, you need to have a decision making. It's important. For example, to optimize the efficiency in the transportation, if there is a traffic jams. So in Malaysia also there is a one of the, for example, like traffic lights, if there is a long car, that means the waiting time is shortest. That means if the less car, the waiting time is shortest. That means they have priorities. Which one is the car that should move first? That is how you want to optimize the efficiency. Resistance in the city operation, there is a lot of CCTV nowadays to prevent the burglary or anything. Service of connections, commanding the system remotely. And lastly, this is quite important when you want to develop the smart city. Communicate with a stakeholder, whether the citizen, company, institution, and civil organization, are they ready to rely on the technologies in the decision making. So when you want to implement the smartness implementation in each component, there is a 3 characteristic. So effectiveness. Since the smart city has to create a value of its citizen, that's why if we want to make a smart city, make sure that it is being valued by all the citizens, not only the young. How about the old one? Is the old people can capture with the technologies? Is the old people willingly to wearing the device, for example, to monitoring the heartbeat, everything, the device? So there is the effectiveness. So environment consideration, preventing the least structure environmental degrading. That means people go for the green technologies. Green. Then this is one of the smart city. We preparing to throw it our items in the bag. That, for example, the white one for the papers, there is a green to recycle. Are we preparing that to segregate our dish, everything? So innovations, using the technology to reduce the environmental impact for a better delivery. So one of the innovation that people are talking about now is a smart home. Smart home, that means if the switch on the aircon before you come back from the office, there is the using the technology. Sometimes you can close your light at home. And this is all the 3 components that should be as a result of the characteristic. So this is the sustainabilities. What are the mapping? For example, the number 7, the goals number 7, to ensure the access affordable, reliable sustainability on the modern energies. One of the key dimensions of smart city at the clean, efficiency, energy use. So that's the reason why we have a smart home, and sometimes we have an electric car also to make it clean because of the ozone, the carbon dioxide, everything. So the goal number 8 to promote the inclusive, sustainable, growing economic growth, employment, and decent work at all. The smart cities promote the quality life of all citizens. So people are going for digitalizations. So are we preparing there is no hard copy, everything is being digitalized. So can we trust digitalize, the hacking, everything? So promote the quality of life for all the citizens. Like I mentioned earlier, other citizens are preparing everything to see in the computer. All the, for example, like their certification, everything in computer. Usually they are using the hard copies. So build the resistant infrastructure, promote inclusive and accessibility industries, and foster innovations as a smart city to rely to a smart infrastructure to achieve a higher level of efficiency. So currently, some of the industry they are using the robot, and then some of the industry they are being there is a sensor. For example, they want to do a bakery. There is a sensor when to stop. If the cook is already good enough, then the sensor will, that means the oven will shut down. So another part, make the cities inclusive, resistance, and accessibility. A smart city aims for a accessibility for urban development. So for example, in this case, we have a CCTV, burglary, an accident or crime we can capture inside the image processing. So currently, image processing is quite a good research that they are looking on the smart cities. So ensure the sensibility, consumption, and production method. So as the environment in one of the chief target of the smart city, for example, monitoring a water, waste, and energy flow. So in one monitoring of the water, for example, currently in Malaysia there is a few flood. So because of the some of them because of the drainage is blocked. So maybe because a drainage is blocked by the waters or by population, anything. So there will be a device to keep track whether the water is clean or not. There is no population in the drainage. So take urgent actions to combat climate change in impacts as a smart city are crucial in the combat. For example, they aim to shift forward the efficiency use of energy and reduce the use of carbon intensive technologies. So you know then in this case, how to reduce the use of carbon intensive email also. So you don't have once you delete the email, you need to delete the email in the trash so that the email cannot be captured at your servers. When you are talking about the smart city, you need a lot of the servers, the data center, the servers, the aircon, everything, and how to reduce it, the carbon. So one of them, you start clean up your email. Okay, this is the smart city components. In this you can see below is the citation. Components: infrastructure, building, transportation, energy, healthcare, technologies, governance, education, and citizen. Attributes: accessibility, quality of life, urbanization, and smartness. Terms: society, economy, environmental, governance, infrastructure, physical, ICT, and the services. So smart city on the application on the AI. Currently, people are talking about the AI. So what is AI? AI is a simulation of human intelligence processed by the machine. This is the AI. AI is more on the prediction, what you can predict. But natural instinct is for the human and animals that we have, that involve our emotional and consciousness. But in AI, they have feelings. So basic of the AI solution, healthcare consultant or self-diagnosis. Sometimes we have a chatbot That's mean healthcare chatbot currently, self-diagnosis. If you have a fever, for example, currently during the COVID, you have a sore throat, cough, and also the fever is more than 39. So it's a self-check diagnosis. Maybe you have a COVID or not. So if they say, oh, you have a COVID, you need to quarantine for 7 days. So this is one of the healthcare self-diagnosis. So in this case also, we have the home automation and personal digital assistant. There is a one device currently. The senior citizen can wear the device. If the senior citizen fall down, it can trigger at the family members. There is one of the AI solution for the smart city for the elders on the terms of the health. So this is the home smart home. You have the electricity, everything will connected through your handphone. So another part, like I mentioned earlier, there will be a CCTVs can keep track your applications on the face detection, analysis or recognition. So this is object detection. Sometimes in your Facebook also you have. So currently the technologies is very good. That's why if there is a lot of CCTV in the road, so they can capture the burglary or crime take place. So example in the airport, this is what we use during the COVID time. It's a face recognition. Face recognition also you can come to the building, and also during the COVID time they have a sensor at your head to capture your temperatures, whether you can go into the company to the building or not. This is what in Malaysia during the COVID time. Also in the whatever currently in the building, they are more on the face recognition. And sometimes in the phone also, you can unlock it. So in the social media, we have a face recognition in the Facebook, and also the smart. We have also currently, if you want, if we want to implement the smart cities, we can implement the intelligent monitoring. That means a system alert on the driver tiredness. If the driver is tired, you can, that means the car can alert. There is also the missing people. Using a public camera system, facial recognition can be used to identify if a missing person in the image frame. So usually CCTV, there is a lot in the airport. So airport, there is a lot of CCTV. So this also can be identification of the validation. Use a port to enter the kiosk when the person holds a special entry permit. So sometimes in the airport, they just scan through your passport. Is that true? They scan it. So they are using the OCR. This is technique used on the detect or read techniques in the images. So have you seen, this is one of the Korean movie that can be suggested that you see is, I think it's 2 years back or 3 years back. The movie is the Startup. Startup is a very good key movie, is how they start up to doing a smart car. That means if you see that movie, they have a implemented self-driving a smart car, which is when the cat cross, they will stop it. So you can have more time to do your work in the car. So that is really good if this can be implemented. So can avoid, I think with this thing can be less of a accident. So from the driving, you can collect a lot of the data. So this is a smart driving or smart car. So everything like I mentioned earlier on the digitalizations form are such as medical records or history document will be digitalized. So one of the things, if a medical record go to the digitalization form, one thing you have to bear in mind is the law. That means the data protections. if how the data can be protected. So there is a legal, maybe if you want to sign up, sometimes they ask you whether your data can be shared or not. So do you allow it or not? So a lot of people did not read the terms and condition, only tick and send it. So once you take, sometimes they ask you, your data is already been shared with other companies. Sometimes you get, like me also, sometimes I get a phone from insurance or personal loan. So sometimes I ask them where you got my data, and they just hang up the phone. So you can see that when you go to digitalize, you have to be more secure about your data. And the hacking also. So another part is natural language processing is interpret on the spoken language. So when you are going for the smart city, maybe you need to have automatic translate spoken or written feeds between the language. So when you scan, it's already been translated, especially for the tourists. So although in Malaysia and Indonesia, we are speaking in Malay, but there is a certain words also, there is a more to Indonesia and more to Malaysia. So sometimes it's difficult to understand also although we have a same language Malay. So this is the automatically translate spoken. So by the translation is one of the smart cities can be have on the AI application, can do a translation, removal of the language barrier between the two people. Translate each word to a corresponding word in the target language and must be contents that is understand. This is one of the method they are using a semantic. So currently, everyone is using the chatbot. The chatbot currently is interactive enough or not? So sometimes chatbot is answer what our questions. So when you want to implement it inside the smart city, make sure your your chatbot is very interactive, which is a conversation AI connected to worldwide voice call, messaging services, online chat application, email on social media platform. Then recently, my internet at home down, and they asked me to do a chatbot. Go to the chatbot before I can talk with the representative at the call centers. So when the chatbot come to me, I did not understand what are the requests because they are not intelligent enough. So sometimes I just want to say that my internet is down. So who is the right? Can anyone come in? They ask me, what are your? Can you check? They asked me to download one of the template to troubleshoot. Because the service is already out. So sometimes they are not intelligent enough like a human. So what are the conventional AI? They are using a frequent answer, FAQ, given information and answer using a web browser, indication application. The problem with the system is how to respond and give the correct answer. This is the lacking on the conventional AI, a chatbot also. Some of the answer is hard to find. So when you have the features in the chatbot in the smart city, so hopefully it's intelligence. So the healthcare organization to build or deploy the AI complaint, conversation healthcare experience at the scale. So it's currently it's good to implement also if you have a chatbot AI in the healthcare. Currently, most of the services in built-in medical intelligence have a natural language facility to ensure tools and compliance. So what I did, my research recently, is how to translate all the medical form in not electronic. Sometimes they are using the handwritten, transform into the electronics. It's not easy because some of the terms, each of the patient have their own diagnosis. So how you want to standardize it, the diagnosis, and how you want to transfer it. Not just scan it, straight away go to the computer. No, we need to understand what are the terms so that the information in the hard copy is not misleading to the inside the digitalized part. So this is a smart hospitals. in the medical, it's good to implement the smart hospital, emergency response, smart home, smart infrastructure, smart gadget, robots, on-body sensor, technicians, doctors, and nurses. Recently, in my university, they received a robot from UK, and when me and collaborate talk with the UK representative, they said that this robot is already implemented in the hospitals. So that means sometimes the robot is stroll in, ask, how are you? So I can capture the image of the patients, whether they are in pain or not. That is how good of the robots. And there is one hospital in Malaysia also already implement, not all, is a partly, all the data is already in the computers, and even they are in the hospital, they can keep track the heartbeat, everything is being captured in the system. So this is the on-body sensors, everything in the sensor. So technicians, I think there will be a slide that there is a futures of the medical part. So currently, my research, I'm doing the tele-rehab. Tele-rehab is what we call it in traditional way is a rehabilitation, using face-to-face rehabilitation session. So when you use tele is what we are monitoring from the far. So it reduces the patient's transportation to the hospital. So rehabilitation is more on the physical rehab. So tele-rehabilitation requires a continuous monitoring of the patient progress from a distance via the advanced technologies. So tele-rehabilitation is an example of modern medical rehabilitation, maximize the patient's abilities. So to make sure that the patients mostly function. So the use of tele-rehab allows the healthcare personnel to connect with the patient and to encourage them to do the exercise. So sometimes the tele-rehab that the medical doctors can look from the PC, the movement, everything using the CCTV. So do you know this is very important during the COVID time? Do you know when there is a lockdown for 2 years? So how the patient and most of the patient in Malaysia also, it's difficult go for the rehabilitation. Even my mother, he got stroke 4 years ago, and 2 years she did not do any physical. Although, and when I give them the games also, she are reluctant because she is quite old. Is around 76 during that time. 70 now she is 80. So do you know that that's the reason the smart cities you have to capture for the old citizens. So this is why the rehabilitation, how the architecture looks like. Because Myra is one of the application that we use. So this is patient captured by using the Kinect in the data. Then the data can be downloaded in the servers. The doctor can monitor it from the PC in the hospitals. Or they can download, if the patients do the exercise at night, then tomorrow morning, the medical doctor still can see it, and the medical doctor can view it from somewhere. So this is the results of the data, analyze whether the patient improve or not. So this is diagnosis that the medical doctor can inform the patients. So this is required. That means the more data required in the AI, the more data, the more the accurate. Clean up the data is one of the process. Find the algorithm. So this is the one that is very important when you want to implement the technologies. So you need a processing CPU or GPU to a faster result. So once you, for example, you want to make a new passport. So do you want to, it takes around half an hour to sit down in front of the immigration to Google your application? No, you need to know a few seconds. So you need to have a fast result. So this is a future technologies in the healthcare that maybe can implement in the smart hospital. Teleconsultant, that's when you can talk with the medical doctor to the PC. Wearable sensor is currently some of the people, some of the citizens, even they have a smartwatch. This means they have monitoring the heartbeat, wireless communication to your handphone. So sometimes your smartphone, smart wearables can connect to your handphone. That means you can keep track your daily exercise. So currently, it's already implement. So another part is image processing. Image processing, how to detect there is a tumor. Currently, people are using the image processing for a tumor, to detect tumor. There is a one research, one of my colleagues is doing the research during my PhD time. They are detecting the diabetes. From the diabetes, they can detect through the eyes using the image processing. And for me, I did my image processing doing the blood to classify for the leukemia. So I'm doing the blood leukemia. Cancer blood is one of the leukemia. Acute myeloid leukemia, AML. So in the ML, there is around 7 cluster. So in the one blood, in our blood, there is a 4 white blood cell, red blood cells, plasma. I can't remember another one. So there is they can detect the abnormal white blood cell. So that is how you use the image processing, not only on the brain, everything, also on the blood. This is what I mentioned earlier, chatbot in the healthcare. Also, this is very recently, they are using 3D, 4D, 5D printing. So currently they try to make it a simulations, not simulations, to implement the 3D printing, the heart. So to reduce, it's difficult to get the heart donate. So maybe there is a research done. I'm not sure whether it's been implemented or not on the heart 3D printing. So another one is visual reality in operation. This is how you do the operation visual reality. But there is I think recently, I think in US, I think there is equipment. That means the medical doctor do it from the far, not from far, from other rooms, using the robots, the equipment. So the challenges in the smart city, it's good that when you implement, but there will be challenges. So support from the leaders, a very level of government helps to develop a smart city agenda. Is our government is already able to help the smart cities, because the money is a lot, and also the infrastructure. So when you have a smart city, you have to make sure a very good infrastructure to reduce a less traffic jam, friendly environmental, go green, everything. That is the government needs to help to develop. So there is a players, the smart city player. How about the policy maker, technology and innovators? So if the CCTV is captured in the outside of the office, in the road, are we comfortable with it? Or make sure that whatever the picture capture is not being viral and it's not being hacking. So that's the one, the policymakers, technologists and innovators must create a sensible policies to proactive and seek out public and private collaborators in order to build sustainability and synergetic partnerships. So this is the challenges, whether we are agreed that everything is being shared. So engagement of the large community, local authority, government, agency, business, community, business, district, smart buildings, housing complex, and the individual resident to drive out the innovation and value accretion towards co-creating the smart city together. So sharing a non-personal or non-sensitive data, whether through open data or intergovernmental platform, enables citizen, business, a government to draw insight on many areas, solve issues, and improve the efficiency of the service. Are we prepared to share our data? I think most of us is more concerned about the data, including me. I also concerned whether I want to share the data or not. So a secure technology infrastructure. information collection system, ensure that stakeholder confident by using the smart solutions. So are we confident that the solution will be made by the IT, or are you trust IT? Or maybe you never know if something hacking to the systems. And recently there is a movie in the Malaysia. There is I'm not sure whether it's already in Indonesia or not. It's 1 cent. 1 cent, they only collect 1 cent in every account. They hack it. There is one movie very interesting about the cybersecurity. So when you want to implement smart city, sharing the data, you make sure that your cybersecurity, IT security is very, really strong to make sure that people cannot hack and take up your personal information. So if your personal information is can be shared, it's quite critical. So the first thing, are we ready for these technologies? The readiness that need to be considered before any changes in the organization can take place. Are we ready towards the smart city? Are we ready to take all these technologies? How technology readiness affect the use patterns of the technologies? So adoption or adding the technology readiness to develop upon the other technologies. So this is always been highlighted. Okay, this is my video. Okay, I want to show you something. How many minutes more?
Still have plenty of time, Dr. Waida, so you can continue.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, we have some change in the schedule, so you still have more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. New share. Okay. I share with you the screen. Okay, this is the one of the smart board. When you implement it, can you hear? Can you hear the voice?
You could try, Dr. Waida. You could try play.
Okay.
No, we cannot hear the voice, but we can read the text.
So how I want to share the voice part?
Let me see.
I know there is a share. Oh, yeah, share the sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, can you share? Can you see the smart board?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can hear the voice.
Slow down,
Slowing down,
anchor down,
anchor down,
and stop. And
fan,
peeled shrimps,
peeling shrimps, rotating for maximum sun,
hey boat, start
wrong voice command,
Hey boat, start
error.
Hey boat, start
Sorry, I don't understand. Fan,
Oh, hey Miriam, goedemorgen. Hey boat, start engine boat.
So you can see that the technologies in the smartphone, smart board. So this is another one. How if you implement. So if you want to do a smart, make sure you can filter the voice of the person and also the sound of the
door open,
Radio on.
playing radio,
Lights.
lights on,
Protein shake.
making protein shake,
New York.
loading New York, set speed,
4.
4,
6.
6, 16,
4.
error,
16. 4.
4, correction, 16,
Oh, hey Miriam, goedemorgen. and I was too young. Stop! Nine, down!
Lights down.
Only 16. Only 16.
4.
And from one classic to another, this is Summer of 69.
69.
Caltrate Plus with
So,
dual benefits
that
is
is
formulated with nutrients.
So this is another one, smart home.
Jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, dentist at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
And we're gonna do one more.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open. Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey! Open door!
Play on the floor.
Get over the floor! Open the door!
Wrong voice command. Error.
Hey, William. With a rock? Open door. Open door. Open door! Higher!
Higher volume.
Higher!
Higher.
So sometimes in the simple, sometimes you need to have a manual also. So this is my video. If we have time also.
Yeah, you can do that, Dr. Waida.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Associate Professor Dr. Waida Ismail.
Oh, sorry.
I'm a researcher
We cannot-
artificial intelligence in UC.
Cannot see it yet.
My research background
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, we can see it now.
You can see now. Okay.
Yeah.
focusing on data analysis and medical research. I start my research in blood images and dental images. And now my research concentrates on disability rehabilitation patients caused by example of strokes, spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain and others. Aligned with sensibility, the research focusing in remote monitoring patients' progressions, which is tele-rehabilitation and intelligent rehabilitation. The problem is where the patients have difficulties in sustaining the exercise from home and difficulties in driving to the rehab centers. Then need someone to help them in remotely traveling. By using tele-rehabilitations, enables remote patient monitoring by the medical doctors from hospitals. In addition, the innovation also aligned with Malaysia initiative on green technologies reducing petrol. The data were collected in Perkeso Rehabilitations Melaka for USIM to perform data analysis. As the integration Nakli and Akli will make the patients comfortable performing at home with their maharam and reveal their aura with limitation.
Myra is a virtual reality rehabilitation which benefit in improving motivation and bring excitement to the games. The exercise games in Myra are focused in both upper limb and lower limb, so it can be played by numerous types of medical history such as stroke and spinal cord injury.
My role in the project is in using artificial
one
intelligence,
of my
machine learning and
collaborators,
optimization methods to design personalized setup in the Myra platform. Myra is a platform that uses EXA games or virtual reality games for physical rehabilitation. They have some initial setups, but what we try to do with machine learning is to design personalized setups for each patient rather than using general ones that apply to everyone.
As you know, Myra Rehab can be used in all phases of rehabilitation. I would like to share a few setting parameters that can be used to patient accordingly. Once you selected the exercise for the patient, you can go for the option More Settings here to determine the movement tolerance and duration of the treatment for the patient.
So this is my research on the tele-rehab. Because just now I've been told around 20 minutes. I think there is another video. This is the one. This AI by Microsoft. This is more on the AI by farmers, where I share again the screen. Okay, share. This is why the AI is quite important for the insight if you want to implement the smart city. Can you see?
Yeah, we can see, Dr. Waida.
Artificial intelligence isn't coming, it's here. It's the defining technology of our time.
Yeah.
But it's human ingenuity that makes it so powerful. Jane started losing her vision when she was 12.
California Street.
She uses Seeing AI.
I crept down
the stairs and out the door,
which enables her to read and navigate her world. Microsoft AI is helping farmers adapt to climate change.
We can use technology to help feed the world without wrecking the planet.
Enabling wildlife conservation.
The ability to use AI really democratizes science. WildMe uses images from any source to help study endangered species.
And creating new ways for people with hearing loss to communicate.
I want the exact same information that my hearing friends have.
It's more than just imitating intelligence or sounding like a human. Microsoft AI is changing every industry, from healthcare.
And now you can see these finite details, the relationship with many structures,
to engineering and telecommunications.
We are using artificial intelligence to change the way we are relating to customers.
AI lets us put people first.
The Microsoft tools really enabled us to breathe digital life into an iconic brand persona.
The product that we make is not a thing in a box.
No.
Microsoft AI empowers others to create experiences and potential. This is just the beginning.
Artificial intelligence, it's just opened up this whole world.
The future we invent is a choice we make.
So if you are a student here, maybe you can take AI, Microsoft AI as your certification, because I already got 2 certifications from Microsoft AI and Microsoft Data. So it's very good to explore it. There is another one, smart farming. This is how we look later in the 2050. Sustainable farming.
Right now, artificial intelligence helps us meet the needs of today so we're prepared for tomorrow.
By 2050, we need to produce 60% more food. So how are we going to feed the world without wrecking the planet? Using Microsoft artificial intelligence, we can reduce waste and produce more food. Any grower will tell you every row, every crop is different. We can use Microsoft AI to make local predictions about light, wind, rain. This helps farmers know when to plant, irrigate and harvest. It's making a difference.
Artificial intelligence helps farmers grow more while wasting less.
So you can see also in Microsoft, when I took the exam, Microsoft AI, you can see that sensibility farming to maximize the food productions. So it's when you are using a smart city, you need to optimize it. I'm not sure whether this slide is still available. Oh, Sophia. Sophia
On
is
July
one of the
19th,
intelligent.
My Sophia Collective Intelligence will bring bio-inspired AI-powered robot art into the blockchain. Life as an interactive art production between humans and machines will unravel mirror realities into the digital sphere. Join us in these reflections on the uncanny.
So this is Sophia of the robots. Is one of the technologies. Okay. Is that okay? Okay, I think that's all my presentation today.
We really believe that robots.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Waida Ismail, for the presentation. So we learned a lot of things from Dr. Waida Ismail experience, but some points that I have noted is we still have challenge to implement AI, especially to advance the smart city, because of course, like the videos that Dr. Waida Ismail already shown, the high technology could be beneficial, but we cannot implement it directly. We still need to transition it gradually, not in terms of a direct application of AI and other high technology to smart cities. There are still problems that needs to be addressed before we can transform our society into a smart cities.
Yeah.
Okay, because we still have some time, I will open one session of question and answer. For those of you that wants to ask questions to Dr. Waida Ismail, you could raise your hands. Okay, we have one here. Haizat Shahril, you could ask your question.
All right, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Oh,
You could ask
yeah.
your question.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Moderator, and Assalamualaikum, Dr. Waida. So my
Salam.
name is Mama Haizat Shahril from University of
UUM.
yes, UUM, one of the only Malaysian representative here. So my question is quite simple, where Doctor mentioned about the implementation of smart city and also the telehealth beneficial. There is one concern that I would like to highlight here is about the gap, because the main objective that we want to create the smart city and telehealth, for example, is to make it convenient for people all around the world without the issues of whether they are poor or rich. We want to make it convenient for everyone. But the main problem, like what Doctor and Moderator mentioned, is about we can't do it totally. Like, for example, in Malaysia, like me, I'm from Kelantan, but I would say that the most like advanced technology is mainly centered in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor and stuff. But the technology did not really occur in my place. Like, we still need to go to the hospital conventionally, where we don't really have the access to the smart cities, and we don't even talk about Sabah and Sarawak yet. We don't talk about the most part of Indonesia yet, where they only have like little to no access to technology at the first place. So my main concern is that, do you think that even though we want to implement the smart city to make it more convenient, but do you think that it will make the health gap even more higher? Because not only that the poor don't have the access, but even if they do have the access, they cannot afford it at all because of the expensive cost and the accessibility towards the places. Like, for example, like in my place from Kelantan to Kuala Lumpur, it might even cost more towards the transportation and stuff. So to make it short, do you think that the smart city will cost even more cost rather than convenient towards the poor, for example, for the, especially for the poor? Do you think that it would make much more costly compared to convenient?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I understand that part. Yes, it's a big expensive because you are using the technologies. That's why when there is a one slide on the challenges, it's supposedly the policymakers, which is the government. So if you're from Malaysia, if you know that in Malaysia also the government will support if you are in the low income. So if this smart city we implement, so the government will put at least 70 or 80%, we support the cost. So if the smart city itself cannot be worked if they not enforced by the government, because the smart city is not concentrate on the health, but everything, the infrastructure. So actually, it's based on the policymakers. We as a researcher, as a lecturers, research, yes, we can do the research and find the gap, but the implement it should be from the top to bottom. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Haizat, is that enough,
so
or do you have
much.
any follow-up questions?
Yeah, just a simple like conclusion, where at the end of the day, it ups to the policymakers to make the final decision. But we only hope that the technology will benefit us all, not just for the certain part of people only. Thank you.
Hopefully the new government will hear us.
Okay. Thank you, Aizat. Any other questions from the audience to Dr. Waida Ismail about smart cities? Or maybe those who come offline wants to ask, you can also do that. Any other questions? Okay, then if not, there are no questions. I will ask first some questions. I'm curious, Dr. Waida, because we are working in the health field in terms of advancing this technology. Yesterday, we have some viral news in our cities that one of the government-owned hospital, they still run on manually documented documents. So if you want to check patient medical history, you still need to do it manually. It's a government-owned hospital, so it's kind of an indication that even though there's a will from the policymaker, even though they have a certain clear policy that we need to digitalize document, there are still problems in terms of implementing in the field. Because policy ideas of smart technology is one thing, but implementation, the human resources that support the system is one of the problem that it cannot be implemented directly or efficiently. So my question is, Dr. Waida Ismail, in terms of human resources, do we need a certain requirement for human resources to implement it or other resources so that smart technology could help a certain city to be better, Dr. Waida?
Okay, when I developed the tele-rehab, okay, although there is a young people, we use the questionnaire.
Oh,
the first one, the last slide, are we ready? So actually, before we implement the technologies, we have to ask most of our staff, even my rehabilitation also, when you are technologists, are you ready? Because we can see the gap. If the hospital is from the government, they are not ready. But if from the swasta is
private,
private, they are ready because
Yeah,
they
I
have
see.
money, everything, and they are more young. But when I ask the question, are you ready? They said, no, we are not ready. We are prefer the old one because we are comfortable for 15 years, 20 years doing the normal things. So sometimes that's the reason we are considered as lower to implement it. So we have to talk with the higher authority. So you need this is very good. But it's before you implement anything, you have to ask whether they are comfortable. I think not everyone. I think some of them is agree. Yeah, we also have a difficulty there, but also how to educate them, how to use it, and how to use the data using technology. They are preferring, this is manual is good enough. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the adopt, and we can see the range of the age. Because if they are young, they are preferring the technologies, but they are around 40 and above and comfortable with the normal job, they are preferring the hard copy, and their background also. The background of the patient, of the person who want to use it.
I see. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that's an interesting way to at least survey the condition in the field, whether they want to at least try the new, because like you said, the problem of comfort, the zone of comfort is a big problem, especially you said in the government-owned medical sector, because in private they can just force the company to change, they can pay the training and stuff, but in government-owned hospital there could be difficulties. Okay, thank you, Dr. Waida. Any other questions for Dr. Waida? I see someone raise your hand earlier. Okay, no, not yet. Okay, I can go on with my questions. I still have so many, because it is an interesting research that you did, Dr. Waida Ismail, about.
Thank you.
You're working specifically on helping people, like using technology to ease their way into rehabilitation. Is that correct, Dr. Waida?
Yeah.
I see. So in Malaysia, do they have this technology already, Dr. Waida?
Yes, they have the technologies before. But when we want to implement the tele-rehab, it's a bit difficult because of the, we need to go back, because a difficulty because the patient is doing at home, but we only can implement it at the hospital. That means the medical, the patient has to come to the hospitals, and the medical doctor not around the patients at the room or other places. But when we want to implement it at home, so there is a medical doctors is a bit worried if the patient is wrongdoing anything. So that is the where we wanted, that is the legal should come in. So the legal should come in, whether to advise whether it's okay or not. So we lacking on that part towards the end of research.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good thing to hear. Okay. I think we
Yeah.
have some questions here.
No.
Anyone's? They have questions? Okay. Okay. Then I'll ask another question before waiting for. Maybe they are a little bit shy because they still need to structure their questions in English. Or if you want to ask in Bahasa, you could ask in Indonesia also. And then I'll translate it to.
So, are you already implementing a smart city in Surabaya in Unai?
We are trying our hospital, because we are part government and part private in our hospitals. We are trying to implement that, but in wider public, in terms of general public, we have two public hospitals in Surabaya. Sadly, they are not that far in terms of implementing smart technologies. Yeah. At least we have for registrations and stuff, but for the whole generally, we still combine between the manual and how do we call it, and advanced technologies. Call that one.
So you will implement the smart city first from at the hospital.
Yeah, at the hospital. But in terms of others, non-health sector, I think we have already trying to do some, like ordering transportation from public transport. We have an application for that, and then to register your documents, government document, digitalized document. We have already that, because I remember 10 or 15 years ago, to register your ID card, your citizenship card, it could take 3 to 10 days to process it. Now, the last mayor said that it needs to be finished in 1 day, because it's just synchronizing your data. What hard could it be? Just synchronizing your data. So they transformed the whole public sectors in terms of managing your data. The last mayor did that, and now we have it more efficient. So yeah, we can see that it could work if there is will, and then there's a
inshallah they will work.
Yeah.
People are looking for the smart city. I think the good smart city in German, I think.
I see.
And Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, Tokyo and Japan. Yeah, they are more advanced.
Yeah.
Because I think they started a little bit earlier than us here in Southeast Asia. We are currently in the process, but yeah, we can look up to them and take the best practice. Okay, I'll check the audience once again. If you want to ask questions, we still have time.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah, there are a lot of people here, but I think they're a little bit shy to ask your questions.
Because in Malaysia recently, when we are doing the passport, because when you ask me, okay, you need to go to Surabaya, and my passport already died.
That's the problem.
So I have to do the passport on the spot when you see there is a face-to-face.
Okay.
So during that time, around before the pandemic, we can do the passport in 1 day. That's mean we can go, pay, take pictures, everything there. But now they ask us to do online. So sometimes it takes me not in 1 day, 2 days, and some people take 3 days. And some more, when we go there, okay, I thought we only collect the passport. You say, oh no, you're something wrong with your picture. So you have to take the picture again. You have to wait for another half an hour. So sometimes it's sometimes you have to look. Manual is better than the technologies.
Yeah. Sometimes it's faster. Like in your cases, it's faster to do it manual in 1 day than to do it online.
Sometimes when you are registered the passport online, so you have to upload the picture. Suddenly your picture is not good enough, so you have to come and take a picture and wait for another. So it's better we go there for 1 day and settle it and wait for around. I think last time when I walk in, it took around 2 hours, 1.5 hours, something like that. Now it took me around 2 days. Registered, upload the pictures, and come back. You have to book the available time when they are available. And the difference is you can pay online But in the in walk-in, you have to pay in the same thing, debit card. That's the difference. So sometimes when you want to do the technologies, you have to make sure that which one is convenient.
Yeah, yeah.
The technologies one or the normal one.
The normal.
Sometimes if the normal one is better, then we maintain it. So it's not only that, maybe although there is a smart city you want to develop, so you have to make sure which one is better.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Waida, we have some questions from the audience here offline. I give it to the operator.
I have one question. It's too general question. Actually, the presentation was very informative and helpful for me, like me, the person who are not too used to about smart city invention. My question is, we saw that there is 3 points we need to consider when we plan for a smart city invention. The number 1 was effectiveness. Actually, it's a generic question, but still I would like to know more details. So, as we know that generally there will be always technological gap between the generation or between the age group. For example, always there will be an elderly group who are backdated to use the technology. Then there will be a moderate group who are always trying to adapt with the technologies, and there will always be a younger or children who are, it's like by born they are most updated with the with the technologies. So how we can overcome this situation if we consider the elderly group or middle age group? So the digital transformation will be always on the slow, the rate will be slow, or it will take a huge time for the transformation if we consider the elderly or middle age. How we can overcome it for the general people, or the transformation will take slowly, or we can improve our general people to use the technological upgradation. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, basically he asked the question about how.
Sorry, the operator, I cannot hear.
Yeah. Basically he asked about the generational gap in terms of implementation of smart technology, because the younger generation wants to do things faster, and the older generations do it the other way. So how do in terms of smart technology, how do we overcome the generational gap?
Okay, to reduce the gap, sometimes we have to force people to use it, the technologies. We have to force. If you want to make it the old people challenge that even the simple, you have to force. Like for example, when I do the tele rehab, they said no, they want to do it manually. But when the boss said no, you have to do the technologies. So he has to force it. But in my case, my mother's, when I developed the rehabilitation, my mother is around 76. So when I using the visual reality, you have to work. You can see that the old people more stressed. So I said, okay, stop, don't use it. But if the people working in the environment, yes, you can ask them. Even when I do the rehabilitation in Pakeso, most for the people who working, when the old people, they are using the manual. So sometimes if the technologies, if they are working, you have to force. But if they are user, you have to see whether they are adopts or not. If they are more stressed for the rehabilitation, you have to say, no, you don't use. But for the example, for transportation, anything, I think we can force them to use take the bus, everything. But for the medical help, sometimes we don't want the patient to be more stressed and will be harm to them. That is the reason why my mom, I said, okay, my mom, okay, you don't have to use the visual reality, the exercise is okay. So he just used the ball, exercise with the ball. So sometimes you have to suit. But if you are working, like I just mentioned now, you have to force them. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Waida. Aizat, you raised your hand earlier. You want to ask your questions?
Yeah, just a
Yes, you
just
can.
a follow-up question. Like Dr. Waida mentioned that she need to wait like 2 days. Where did you make your passport, Dr. Maida, just now? The
UTC
places.
Seremban.
Yeah, UTC Seremban. So for my case, I need to wait like at least 1 week.
Oh.
Yeah, because I live in a rural places. So my point here is that different places have different access to technologies, and I think that's what the previous question mentioned is that, you know, like what different different people have like different interaction and mindset towards technology. Like Doctor mentioned that your mother like quite stressed out to VR and would prefer a ball. But like some people might say that I need to make it macam kenapa ni macam tak perlu pun pakai ni, kita kan dah ada teknologi. But for some people, they would prefer to use a conventional way rather than technologies. And we cannot blame them because every people has their own like preference. Like they would prefer to use traditional way, they would prefer to use technologies. What I can say here is that the government, like for example, the government, especially in our country, MOH lah, Ministry of Health, need to make a common ground between the oldies and the youngsters. Like you need to like make it a hybrid where, like Doctor mentioned just now, like we need to force. I mean, like the force, the most suitable word is to implement a common ground, meaning that you need to find a suitable middle ground where you need to prepare both traditional and modernized ways, so that not only that we will not left behind towards the developed countries in the aspect of technologies, but we also didn't want to left out these orang kampung, these villagers, from getting the most accessible healthcare, for example, and technology. So what I can hope from the new government especially is that they need to ensure that everyone is equally get the access towards smart city, and at the same time they will not forget the traditional method like Doctor said just now. Thank you.
It depends. If you want to implement the technology 100%, it's quite difficult. So, but it's slowly we have to move to the technology. But it happened recently at my home. One day, don't have the internet. I feel like, oh my God, I don't have internet at home because of there is a raining and the thunder. So only one day I cannot live without internet. So hopefully, yeah. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, the operator IC, for the feedback and Agatha.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Waida. Now I give we have the committee have certificates for you. I give the time to to the committee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Dr. Waida, thank you very much for your participation to give us insight about health, a smart application on health, smart cities application on health sector. This is a symbol. We will also send you the certificate, of course. We will take a picture for you with the participant with the certificate also.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the committee will take the photos.
Okay.
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 I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Waida Ismail.
Hamza, you can contact me anytime.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
I need
bye.
to have the contact.
Thank you very much, Dr. Waida Ismail, for the insightful topics in today's sessions.
Thank you.
From Dr. Waida, we can learn that for the implementation of smart cities, especially in the health sector, we cannot do it directly. We need to do it gradually and with consent of those in the field. Now, we move to the second speaker. I'm here to greet Dr. Celestine Iwendi. You here, Dr. Celestine? Professor Celestine Iwendi, you hear? Okay.
Yes. Hello.
Hello,
can you hear me?
Professor Celestine. Yeah, I can hear you clearly, Professor Celestine. Okay, so for our second speakers, we have here Professor Celestine Iwendi. He will talk about digital transformation and smart cities. I will introduce Professor Celestine Iwendi. He is a research coordinator and senior lecturer at the Schools of Creative Technologies, University of Bolton. He has a PhD in Electronics Security of Things from the University of Aberdeen, United Kingdom, and MSc from Uppsala University, Sweden, and MSc from Namdi Azikiwe, Nigeria, and a PhD from Namdi Azikiwe University, Nigeria. His research interest is artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, machine learning, wireless sensor networks, and communication system. Professor Celestine, you have around 20 minutes to deliver your presentations, and then we'll follow up with question and answers. I give time to you now, Professor Celestine, to deliver your presentation.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, again? We can hear you.
All right. Good morning, everyone from there. I'm a little bit exhausted because I just came in from London in the midnight yesterday. And the midnight is around 12 in the night. And now it's 4:28 a.m. So I've not slept up to 3 hours. And yesterday I spoke in a very big program in London. So you mind my little voice, but I will try as much as possible to make this program, this international conference, memorable for many of you that are watching. I can see the lecture is filled up, and I also see over 459 people online. Now, I'll be giving again to appreciate the organizers of this program. It's a very good one. And we are talking about the development of smart city during digital transformation. But I will be looking at the artificial intelligence, the future of artificial intelligence, as we develop our smart city. So he has already introduced me, no need to do that again. Everywhere I go, I remain IEEE brand ambassador, and we've done quite a whole lot on that. Now, because we have 20 minutes, I actually have a longer slide, so I will try to move more to cover some areas for you in these 20 minutes. First is to introduce what most of you know as artificial intelligence, or what we know as the Education 4.0. Then I'll give you the next generation artificial intelligence that we're expecting that will help us for a smarter world. And then give you what we do here in creative technology, introduce you to machine learning and applications. Then tell you what every city should be looking at. How do we make AI, in games? How do we increase the resources of our smart villages, our smart cities? How do we also have sustainable energy? How can we predict where there is going to be an energy failure? Like currently what we're having in the Europe, we're having energy issues. So how do we make it work? What are the smart framework for people who want to go into research and opportunities to better their life? So these are what we are looking at today. Number one, I want to give you that your imagination is your preview of your life's coming attractions. And the problems of research, the problems of smart city listens to their sort of creative thinker. Where we are today, what your village is what those who have made it to succeed, where they stop in thinking. That is exactly what I'm saying. Wherever you are today is because you have decided not to think for the future. When you think for the future, you do more. Every time you achieve one particular goal, it makes you to move on to achieve another goal. That is why I said you are not going anywhere in destiny until you start asking questions. Asking relevant questions. How do we develop our city? How do I develop my family? How do I develop my career? How do I develop my life? The solutions you render to every question will also catapult you to what I call a place of prominence. So, excellence is an art. There is no destination. You can never say you have arrived in life. You can never say you have arrived in developing your city, in bringing smart city into your vicinity, into your country. It must have what I call attainment of excellence. Well, because it requires the same tactics you use in your first victory. So, how do we choose? What we choose will help our city to grow up. There's nothing as opportunity comes once. It comes as we create it. What are we creating? As educationists, as researchers, as people who are thinking for the future for our city, as people who are thinking for the future, in our universities, what are we creating? What is your research making? What are we making that will make our generation better? What is the impact factor of our ideas to our cities? So I say we can better our best when you cultivate the habit of listening to those who have made impact, those who have succeeded before us. When I meet such people personally, I ask them the question, can you show me the secret of your success? Because in every area there is a secret. There's a secret to turn our village into a city. There's a secret to turn our city into smart city. There's a secret to turn our smart city into smart country. So listening to motivational speakers is not enough. If I finish this talk, it's not enough. I want to come back next year to see what have you added to your life? What have you added to your school? What have you added to your department? What have you added to your nation? So because it is what you add that separates us from the crowd of failures. So there's nothing like something for nothing. Every price requires a price. What are we paying to bring development to our city? So, like I said, artificial intelligence in a simple word is bringing intelligence to the human mind, making the human mind think, making computers think like the human mind. That is artificial intelligence. We have a simulation of intelligent behavior of computers. Yes, ability to imitate intelligent human behavior by machines. This is artificial intelligence. And you could see all these areas in terms of neural network planning, machine learning, natural language process, robotics, perception, knowledge, cognitive services. So AI brings all this into the table for developing our smart city, bringing development of our smart city. How are we using AI effectively? Like now, we can use it in machine learning. We can use it in expert system. We are using it in natural language processing, speech recognition, robotics, and so on. But I've added energy. Can we use it in energy? Can we also balance it with Education 5.0? What is Education 5.0? Ability to bring humanity into AI so that we don't allow AI to run without direction, without ethical principles, without ethical issue. So we bring AI to give us a balance, to bring humanity to the scene. So this is what AI does. In all these areas, we are now using it in every area, both the law, the civil engineering, the mechanical, the computing, even in stock exchange, AI is now functioning there. In terms of the tools and framework, you can see we have so much. SkyKit, Learn, TensorFlow, Tenor, Cafe. We have so much kit that helps us in making AI a reality. So now I've worked in China for about 3 years, and I can tell you a whole lot that in 2030, the country is planning very big thing in terms of developing to be the best in the world. What is Indonesia doing? What is the goal? As citizens of Indonesia, what is our plan? What are we creating? What are we creating that will make us not just to be, there, but to also to be a superpower, and to be a superpower, it will have to have super technology, big data intelligence, for example. They want to use it to transform big data into insight that renders what we call optimized engagement, ability, capability, involving active agents of big data intelligence strategies. These intelligence strategies can do a whole lot up to intelligence warehouse, data scientists, implementation, and development experts. We are looking at crowd intelligence, where essentially you talk about internet-based collective intelligence. They are looking at what we call cross-media intelligence, where you integrate data-driven machine learning with human knowledge. This is exactly moving from supervised learning into unsupervised learning that we use it to generate a whole lot of solutions. And using cross-media data and make prediction, we make recognition, we analyze, we reason with the data. We want the data to do the work, not just us limiting it by our simplified, supervised algorithms. And then they're thinking of what they call the hybrid augmented intelligence. What is that? Ability to create a hybrid collaboration between humans and machine. And long term is to make machine think like humans. So, and this is going to be more powerful than machine or human reasoning. That is where they're working. And then the last is unmanned autonomous system, where the next step is a fusion of mechanical system, just like what you have in electrical power stations, where all those things are electrical. But how can we monitor electrical if we don't have sensors or internet of sensor things in place? So computing technology, sensors, software to create intelligent system is vital, capable of interacting with the complexities of our real world. Now, what we do in Bolton is that we have created what we call the creative technology, where we have brought computing, design, arts, and humanities into the business, where we can turn museum into a museum where it's not just pictures. Now we can, of course, we can use a whole lot of artificial intelligence algorithm to say so many things, to see pictures move and talk. But no, now we're going into a situation where you come into a museum, like the Queen of England that has been dead. Our statues can begin to tell you some things about her. That is applying software and computer systems into a museum and turning museum into national treasure. So another area is using what we call the technology that brings in the multi-sensory experiences made using computer graphics, video production, digital cinematography, virtual reality, augmented reality, video editing, software engineering. So much comes together when these four gets married. And when we marry them, they will begin to use artificial intelligence to foster the application in smart city. Now, this is our department, what we do. You can see we make in Film X, we make the cartoons in real sense. And we make them to talk. We try to video them, we try to use them, simplify other things that we are doing. We have the games where we generate a whole lot of games. Recently, we got an award of 3 million euro with Hero Zone. What is the goal? The goal is to convert the games and use the games to solve societal problems. Like someone who is having a kind of depression and is thinking of committing suicide. You can come into the games room and the game can reprogram your mind just by activities. Why? Because what you see tends to command what you think about. What you see tends to command how you do. So we want to use our software analysis in games to change people's thinking from negative to positivity and ability to use computing system in such a way that people will understand how it works, in terms of life development, in terms of robotics, in terms of security, in terms of also protection, in terms of using them in warehouse. So these are all what we are doing, in Bolton. So like I said, AI cannot solve all the problems in the world, but it can help also to create more problems in the world, like espionage. We have sabotage. We have also fraud. Currently, what we are witnessing in the war between Russia and Ukraine is that a whole lot of drone with AI is being sent, to attack specific areas and specific places in both corners. So a whole lot. Companies are developing models that do a whole lot of things against humanity, for humanity, and so how do we control what AI does? That's why I said AI has solution, it has strength, it has weaknesses. So this is a smart city that we have gathered today in this international conference looking about, that everything will be possible with everything, enabling a smarter world where we have this communication move around, where we have things, moving from one area to the other. That is it, that everything can seamlessly communicate with each other. It's a good project, but how visible it is, that your telephone can become a So enabling a smarter world, like we are looking at it in this conference, has to do with artificially created tools and intelligence. Humanity must remain at the heart of every factory and enterprise. It should be the main topic of tomorrow for big data deployment and increased value as humans represent the real reasoning. That is the main reason of this big data of smarter world. So we say big data and AI must exist to simplify low added value tasks, store information from one system so that it can be reused by others and bring a large scope of data analysis in real time, something that current tools and the human brain are not able to handle alone. So AI can learn and take relevant decisions to a higher value. So in terms of machine learning, you can see that the machine learning moves from the process, and then you have to the collect version to the abstract, to the learn and validation, and also has evaluate and tuning, because the toughest challenge in machine learning has to do with data. There will no longer be a machine learning if there is no data collection. So we extract this and we try to learn the model, try to teach the model how the behavior should be. And once they have mastered it, that is all what they know. When they have mastered it, they produce exactly what you have sent them to do. So look at machine learning. It's so vast. It's so vast. It has moved into everything in life. So I want you to understand that this is a solution, even though we have some minor problems in it, but this is a big solution that has come to change every aspect in the world. Look at this again. Here, the analysis between supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. These three keys are the major thing why machine learning can never go down. So you can see it, everything in life is also channeling here, from image recognition to customer retention, to forecasting, to prediction, to process optimization. New insights you have is not only to scientists, it can be to anyone who has interest in developing, going further than where we are today. So this is important to note. This is hand-drawn things, because we're trying to understand what software, what algorithm is capable of operating all these terminologies that we have in machine learning. So we're able to derive all that goes on using other boost, using CAD boost, using STG boost for machine learning, using supervised learning. As I told you, you have unsupervised learning. How do we make it? What is supervised learning? Where the data that is being received, how is it being monitored, how is it being programmed? These are all the things we talked about in machine learning. Like I said, TensorFlow is there, created by Google. Pandas is there. You see, so a time has come that even though we talk about machine learning, we must look at the Python, because you can't use this algorithm very well if you don't know the programming language. Look at it. It has helped us to solve problems in transportation. It has helped us to solving problems with self-driving cars. That's what machine learning is doing. It's also helping in veracity of information. Everyone is working, to know how information is being transferred. Then it's also come with an issue. How is this information being handled? How is it handled? And then how do we know what is true and what is not true? How do we know that? Like in COVID time, some people said, oh, COVID, you need to bath yourself with soap. Some say bath yourself with salt. Some say all kinds of things were on fake news. So how do we know? How do we classify the tools? We have used machine learning to solve this problem. So machine learning can actually categorize whatever that was spoken, and put them in a junk. So machine learning, why the problem remains unsolved, the truth is temporal, because it's there. But it's not everybody that believe in the truth, or trying to change a country. No, everybody does not believe everything, because there are three kinds of people: the people that make things happen, the people who wonder why things are happening, and the others who enjoy to see others make things happen. These are the things we have. So it depends on the truth that can evade engineering, ingenuity, camouflaging information. Then we have limitations of machine learning. And we have the traditional data set in terms of train, validation, and test cycle, ethical consideration, cause for fairness, are you fair? Explainability, accountability, bias. Look at, for example, Amazon scrap secret AI recruiting tool that show bias against women. This is what Amazon, they did some tool, and then they were using it to show bias in recruiting women. But some of the workers, because of ethical thing, workers protested, and then they scrapped the project. Look at what Google did. Google generated an algorithm that mistakenly tagged black people as gorillas, showing limits of algorithm. Or Facebook apologizes after AI puts primary primates label on video of black men. So these are all the problems that, instead of using the machine learning to solve problems, we are using it to create more problems. Now we have AI in gaming. I'll just say very briefly about that, looking at my time. Making games smarter than ever. This is a huge industry that brings a whole lot of money. Enhancing the overall gaming experience, transforming skills of developer, making mobile games smarter than AI. These are all the areas of research we're looking at. So you have another one in terms of AI-based voice intelligence, change the way games are played. How do we bring assistance to booster video, to booster kind of wide range of intelligent games across genres? Apart from hosting their own games, recent development have shown the entrance into console games too. So the main advantages of game producers in the future will be to plan strong framework inside games that will require AI techniques. For example, design acknowledgement and reinforcement realize when the characters inside the games will self-learn from their behavior. That is also supervised learning. Self-learn from their behavior and evolve accordingly. Look at it. Look at this is the goal of the games. Okay. And then we have the AI and energy sustainability, like I said. Tomorrow's electricity network will be smarter and greener with a focus on efficiency and reduce consumer costs. You see, how do we turn it into energy generation using AI into it? So look at the pressure we're having currently, especially in Europe. We have the power system, we have the power failure. How do we save consumer bills while meeting ambitious decarbonization goals? With the deployment of network sensors or energy 4.0 is just around the corner. So these are most of the things I'm talking about with this AI. Just as I allow you to watch, what happens with the AI and the games, and you see a whole lot of things that could happen with also in energy sector. This is huge area of investment, huge area of research. So I advise most of you who are working on research areas to think about this. Energy efficiency optimization, automatization and scalability of actions. These are huge area where AI can come in. You see. So the energy industry, in terms of power the grid, how do you power the grid? How do we use virtual power plants? How do we use electricity trading, AI for power consumption? This is artificial intelligence in the energy industry at best. Remember, the goal is to have good transportation, distribution, and energy storage using industrial smart grids. So we have a whole lot of smart framework I always give my students in terms of specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. How are they time-bound in what we do? So finally, machine learning, artificial intelligence in game, artificial intelligence in general is a great tool for societal improvement, progress, and modernization, but not without limitation and plenty of potential for research and improvement. Thank you very much. I'll take your questions now.
Hey, thank you very much, Prof. Celestine Iwandi, for a very interesting presentation and talks about AI and how it has an impact on our life, but not without limitation and improvement. So that's the thing we need to emphasize on. It has its use, it's very useful, it can be very efficient, but there's still room for improvement. Okay, I now open the questions for those of you who wants to ask your questions, you can raise your hands directly to Professor Celestine. Or if you want to ask in Indonesia, that's also fine. I'll translate it to Professor Celestine Wendy. And those of you that come offline, if you want to ask questions, you can just tell the committee and we'll take your questions from there. Okay, any questions? Okay, then I'll ask my questions first, Professor Celestine. One of the obstacles of the AI implementation is there are a significant difference in terms of resources in developed country, in developing country. What do you say, Professor Celestine, is the biggest challenges for developing countries in terms of developing AI?
The biggest problem is thinking, that's all. If people who are in developing country can think, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Creative thinking. It's not just listening, it's doing. That's all. There's nothing else. I've stayed in different countries, both developing and developed, and I can tell you that the problem is not taking action, an ability to be creative. Once you are creative, there's no mountain you cannot climb.
Okay, thank you, Professor Celestine. So that's an interesting point. If you cannot think, if you do not use creative thinking skill, and that's the most important things, then if you can do that, you can move mountains, Professor Celestine says. Okay, any other questions for Professor Celestine? Professor Celestine have a wide range of research. If you want to ask also about his other topics, I think that's also fine. Okay. If not, I think that's it for the session. Professor Celestine, thank you very much. We are very sorry to disturb you early in the morning. We hope that you have a good rest after this. Thank you very much for your insightful presentation, Professor Celestine. Before that, I would like to give the committee to symbolically give you the certificate. The committee, the certificate. Okay, hello, the committee, are you there? We are very sorry. I think they're still preparing that, Professor Celestine. I think that's it, Professor Celestine. They will send you the certificate to you. Thank you for your participation. Again, we hope that you have a good rest. We have this early morning.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Professor. Yeah, hopefully you can come to Universitas Airlangga. We are always open to your visit. Hopefully next time you could come to Surabaya and visit us here physically, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you
very much, Professor.
Okay.
Good morning.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, with that, I think we have ended our speaker sessions. Now I give the time back to the MC for the next event. Thank you. Hopefully the two speakers give us insight about smart cities. The first speakers talk about how implementation of smart cities needs a lot of effort, and there is a problem of generational gap. And then Professor Celestine highlighted the use of AI, artificial intelligence, to improve the smart cities framework. One of the takeaway that we can take from Professor Celestine is that he said that we need a creative thinking skill. If we cannot think, then we cannot dream of AI or smart cities. So that's the thing that we need to highlight on, how we think, how we as a students enhance our creative thinking skill in order for us to advance our cities and our knowledge. With that, I take my leave. Thank you for your participation. I'll give the time back to the Master of Ceremonies. Good afternoon to you all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Can you confirm that my voice Check. Check. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you confirm that you can hear my voice? Okay. Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, those are the agendas we presented to you this morning. As we have finished our opening ceremony with an amazing international seminar, now we will close this agenda with a quote from the legendary thinker of Asia and philosopher Confucius, who once said, "He who learns but not think is lost. He who thinks but doesn't learn is in a great danger."
Let us all be guided by all the things we have learned and heard throughout the conference and be able to find ourselves in a certain condition with a strong faith. Thank you, and thank you very much. Till we meet again, perhaps in the next conference. May all of you have a wonderful experience in Airlangga International Conference and a safe journey home. I'm Dewi Rahmawati.
And I am Gulam Pambayung.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.